Do you think it's fair to say that all three of these methods are useful in certain areas, but they all differ in their focus areas? And I'm going to give you my understanding of it, and you can break this apart and tell me how you think about this. But MTA essentially optimizes the conversions journey's final stages, like tracking interactions leading to conversion, leading to purchase. MMA, on the other hand, analyzes like a bunch of historical data. So not super useful for startups that are very, very early, but is useful for identifying channels for companies that have that historical data and strategies linked to business outcomes and adding a ton of insights to like strategic planning. And it's good for guiding test selection, but it doesn't show correlation. Like it shows correlation, not causation, right? And incrementality testing, we talked about this one already a little bit, and we can unpack that one further. A/B tests, holdout tests, like causality by measuring real impact of marketing actions. Maybe give us examples where like each model is best suited for a specific standpoint, having a platform that kind of caters to all three of these methodologies.
Definitely. We'll start with media mix modeling. You're correct. You need historical data. General rule of thumb is at least 2 years of data. The longer and the more data you can get, the better. So yeah, if you're a company that's a week, a month, a quarter old, MMM is not even worth discussing. I'd also say rule of thumb, you want to be spending at least $5 million a year in marketing before you really start investing in media mix modeling. You want to be on at least a handful of channels. Like if you're just spending on Facebook and Google, you probably don't need MMM also, to be honest with you. But essentially we get all this historical data, all of your historical spend. It could be even things like, and different vendors and different approaches here, but it could be like impression counts for things like email or SMS. You could also get some other exogenous variables, consumer sentiment, inflation, et cetera, et cetera. But essentially we're doing big fancy statistical models to try to take all this aggregate data and determine what's actually driving towards your business is what media mix modeling is for. Main use case that we see from our clients is in forward-looking budgeting and planning. So if you're doing budgeting annual basis, biannual basis, quarterly basis, monthly basis, weekly basis too, we're using media mix modeling as a method to help guide the development of that budget against a baseline. Media mix modeling can help you uncover what is a baseline component of your marketing mix. What is it not useful for? Day-to-day optimizations, anything more granular really than, I would say channel tactic. Channel tactic can be like Facebook prospecting. There are some ways to get a little bit more granular. So like channel tactic campaign, the most granular, but it's a newer component of media mix modeling that is starting to get a little bit more developed, but not really there yet. And generally more used by like the C-suite, CMO, CFO, et cetera, et cetera. Incrementality testing, meant for determining, is that last dollar spent incremental or not? The way that it's done is with either geo test, that could be a holdout test. I'm going to serve in 2 geos, or rather I'm going to stop serving in geo 1 and serve in geo 2, or a scale up test. I'm going to increase my spending in one geo versus another. What's great about it is it helps you uncover that answer. Was that dollar incremental or not? Because you can compare the test versus the control. Negatives about it is there's a real cost to doing it. All of a sudden you're not serving media in a certain location, that there's revenue that could be there. It's operationally more difficult because you actually have to make adjustments to your campaign structure to set up the test and then to run it for a period of time. It's hard to run multiple tests at the same time. And it's often a point in time answer. So you run an incrementality test for a month in January for branded SEM. That's like, archetypal reason. That's the main the first thing everybody wants to test, branded SEM. Cool. That result from January is irrelevant in February, in March, April, May, June, July, et cetera, et cetera. MTA we've talked about a lot. In platform optimization, trying to understand and get insight from a path to conversion, time to conversion. And then also I would say applying results from MMM and incrementality tests as multipliers on top of MTA, again, to facilitate that day-to-day optimization for media buyers is how we think about it.